and welcome to this video where I want to go and talk with you about different platforms where you can learn and write and produce your own newsletters. So let's get started. Why doing this video? So I do this video because a couple of months ago I was thinking about starting to write a newsletter, or in general starting to write online, and I didn't really know which platform to choose. So I was looking around, I was testing all these different platforms. I was quite, let's say, immersed into the idea of finding the perfect platform. And in the end, I realized that the most important point is to just start writing. But still, because I made all of that research and looking at the different platforms, I thought I'd share with you what I learned so that you also get some idea and understanding about different platforms of where you can start a newsletter or where you can write online. What are the benefits of them? How do they look and feel? And for that, basically for yourself to decide, maybe let's go with Medium, for example, as you can see here on the screen. Or maybe go with Substack, which is another one we look at. Or maybe go with Beehive, another one. Or maybe going with Ghost. So these are the 4 ones that I will discuss with you today. And hopefully afterwards, if you always had this in your mind, I really would love to start writing, or I really want to try this with a newsletter, then just try. And here you get all these platforms that you need, and you can just pick and choose one and directly get started. So let's get started with that video. So we start with Medium. And Medium is a very classical writing platform. You see a lot of people are writing on Medium. You see here, if you look at the screen, a very broad range of different articles in various forms and industries and themes. It's about AI, it's about programming, it's about Martin Luther King Jr. was more radical than you think on the right-hand side. So you have a lot of different content in there. Medium is not necessarily in general, not a newsletter platform. It's simply a writing platform. But what I like about Medium is that the look and feel is very easy. So Medium makes it very easy to just get started writing. So if we go for Medium and we open here a window where you can write, then you see it's a very sleek, easy, modern, a simple environment where you can start writing. So there is not a lot of things going on that distract you from writing. And that's what I like a lot. So if you can, like you want to write an article, you basically just put in the title and say how to become a writer, as an example, as we're just talking about writing. You tell your story and you say, this is my story of how I became a writer. And then you can see that you have these plus signs here, and you can add an image, an Unsplash, so also an image, but from Unsplash. You can add a video, you can add an embed, some new code block, and you can also add a divider. And whenever you're done, you simply click on Publish. You should have an image included. You add some publishing topics, and you click Publish Now or Schedule for later. So this is a very easy, simple tool. And you can just start writing, and then you can share your writing with others. And you have a profile of yourself. And with this profile, you can basically share it. So how does it look like? So this is me. You see, I only have 1 follower. I just started writing. And basically, you can put a banner image here. You have your name. You see all the articles that you have written. You have a profile. You can edit your profile page. And that's it. Maybe 1 about page that you can also fill, but that's it. So very simple, very sleek, and you can just get started writing. Then let's go to another tool, which is Substack. So Substack is a tool which is free as well if you want to start. It costs, however, I think 9 or 10% of revenue if you decide you want to make it paid. So for example, if you want to have premium subscribers to your site and to specific articles or to a specific newsletter that you publish, then the site will cost you 9 to 10% of this whole revenue, which is quite a lot if you want to start really payments and want to sell something. But as long as you just prefer to write without having a specific goal of wanting to monetize it, then Substack, I think, is a really great idea to start. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to write on Substack, because I just wanted to get started. I had all these amazing plans of how to make money, how to, offer some premium versions, that I completely got lost in those goals and forgot about the main reason why I want to write, because just getting in the habit of starting to write and then see what comes along. So if this is your goal, just wanting to get started, not overdoing this, then Substack, I think, is a great choice, because you can just start writing. It's very easy, and you also have everything that you need. And at some point, you can even make it paid if you want to. So how does it look like in the more back end? How does the look and feel looks? So here you are in this writer editor where you can start and write your articles. So similar as here, I can put a title, how to become a writer as an example, and then the subtitle and saying, this is how I became a writer. So I like really, okay, this is not correct, but I really like the look and feel, and also a bit of the coloring behind. It's really nice as a writer. Here you have much more options. So you can add an email header and footer, because whatever you write will also be sent to your subscribers. You have here a style, you have different styles. You can add a code block, you can add a link, images. Here's some bullet points, and then you have a lot of buttons that you can include. So for example, the subscribe now button would look like this one, and you can adapt the style. So it doesn't need to be blue. It can also be green, for example, or red, or whatever color you choose. Get the app, leave a comment, write a referral, give a gift subscription. So you have various options here of buttons, and you also have some more sections. So for example, you can put a poetry block, or you can put a paywall. So you see there's some more options of what you can do when you try to monetize your writing and monetize the work that you put into into Substack. Sorry. So this is about Substack. I like the very clean writing experience. What I don't like so much is that with Substack, when you write, it always automatically goes to your subscribers. So there is no differentiation between what goes to your subscribers and what doesn't. And as well, obviously, the moment you want to have a paywall or want to have your clients pay something, and you have a lot of clients, then it might be quite expensive, given the fact that you have to pay then, or like pay 9 to 10% of your whole revenue. But for just starting, I think it's a very nice platform. You get, some different styles. So that's the style that I chose. And you go down, and then you see all the other articles. But there are also different styles that you can choose. You can also choose various pages here. So it makes it a very sleek experience. And if you go in the back end, then you have various options here. You see your posts, podcasts, subscribers, your stats, recommendations, and then also settings. So you have various options here to see, okay, how are people interacting with your content? So much about Substack. Then I tried something else, which is called Beehiiv. And this is only a trial. So you can subscribe if you want to, but it doesn't work because currently I don't send anything to that platform. But I tried it on that platform, and you can give it, you see here, like a subdomain. So mine is nocodeilab.beehive.com. But you can choose whatever you want to, and you can adapt, and you can also forward this to one of your individual URLs. That's the same with Substack though. So I did this with Substack for insights.affalke.com. And so you could do this with Beehiiv as well. Beehiiv is free to use when you start. At some point, when you want to use some premium options, you have to pay 50 euros per month. I personally find 50 euros per month quite a lot, given that I just want to start. But I think at some point, it actually makes a lot of sense doing it, because there's one other tool, for example, that we won't cover in detail, ConvertKit, and some other email providers as well. When you move along a specific amount of subscribers, which is roughly 500 to 1,000 subscribers, and you pass along that, then then Beehiiv becomes very cheap compared to a lot of other providers about email newsletters and writing. But for a very beginner, I think it doesn't make that much sense, because I think 50 euros per month is quite a lot. If you say, I only do this newsletter and I don't do anything else, and I only want to write here, and this is my only project that I have, then this is a different story. Then you can think, okay, maybe it makes sense to invest these 50 euros because then it's the only thing I do. But if you have several projects and several things you want to try out and more on an experiential level, or just want to write and want to use those 50 euros for something else, then don't do that. I think Beehive, you also have a lot of option with design, but I think it doesn't look as nice in my perspective as Substack, even though it has more the focus, and I think you already see this, of getting as many subscribers as possible and moving this to a level where you actually earn money with it. So here you have very prominently the subscribe button, and then you see all these articles that you can write, and you also see a bit of the design, which is a bit different from Substack. How does it look like in the back end? So here we are in the back end of Beehive. You can see here are different published articles. So this is one I already published. It has a different style, so you can make the style more like a normal article. But in general, it looks a bit more like a newsletter, and you have more of those newsletter options. So here's one example, for example. So you see you have a header here. Then you have, welcome to the newsletter. And then it goes down. And this one looks way more like a newsletter compared to, just an article that you're writing. And you have all of these options here. And then you will see analytics, comments, and engagements. And on the left-hand side, you see the dashboard, notifications. You can write posts, contact tags. You can do automations, which is, however, an upgraded version. So you have to pay those 50 euros. You see that there are referral programs, recommendations, boosts. There are a lot of monetization options. You can look at your audience. You can add custom fields. You can add polls, which I tried out with the premium version for a month. And I think that's a very nice idea to do polls, because then you can automatically test, okay, do users actually like what you write about and what they like most? You can do surveys. You can analyze your audience in very detail. Okay, and the rest is something else. So this is what you can do here. And we can just edit the post, so I can show you how it looks like and how you can work on it. So if you edit the post, you see that the typing experience is a bit different. I think it's not as sleek as the other two platforms like Medium and Substack to just getting started writing. But on the other hand, if you have more the goal of really publishing a newsletter and monetizing a newsletter and making it beautifully nice in a way that you have different sections, then I think Beehive is a way better tool than the other ones. So what you can see here, it's a bit of Notion. So you type in this slash here, /, and then you see all the options that you can include. So you have a bulleted list, a numbered list, buttons, block quote, table of contents, columns, code block. Then you have the different headings. You have the embeds here like TikTok, YouTube, and so on. And then as a premium version, you have the AI writer, the poll, HTML snippets, and so on. So you have a lot of options here. And also you have these design, these design options. So the visual settings, if I click on it, you see that you can add spacings, you can add borders, background, and text color. And you can take those and save them as templates. So you don't have to redo this every single time again, but you basically just have this here and can play around with it. So I think this is really nice as a newsletter. And then when you want to publish it, you already see that you have here the post, the email, the website, SEO, and delivery. So you can publish it, for example, only on your website, so the one that I showed you, or you can publish only per email, or you can publish both. And you also have SEO and delivery options. You have also the option, for example, for the email that you do A/B testing, but only if you have the premium version. Then here you have title and description, so some more insights into the SEO settings, and then also the delivery. So this is what you can do. And I think Beehive is perfect if you want to write a newsletter. For simply publishing and writing, I wouldn't choose Beehive, because I think Beehive is really targeted towards newsletters. And that's also when you look at their website, how they target themselves or how they're looking for clients. So if newsletter is your goal, Beehive, I think, is a great choice. If you prefer just writing and maybe monetizing later, then I would choose Medium or Substack. Then there is one fourth page or fourth provider that I want to show and share with you. I will do another video later on about Ghost by itself, but I wanted to share it with you as well because a lot of people use Ghost. Ghost is a platform where you can also create websites. So it's a bit different compared to a simple writing or newsletter tool. But I know several people that use Ghost also for only their newsletters. And so for that reason, I wanted to share it with you too. We won't go into details. I have an account somehow, but it's very old and there is no content in it. So as I said, I will do another video later. But as you can see with Ghost, it's basically, if you scroll down a bit, it's also a website tool. But if you want to have everything in one platform, then this could be the platform to choose. I mean, there are several other ones like WordPress and so on. But Ghost gives you this idea of also having the option to do your newsletters. So we can go, for example, to some examples. So here you have, for example, Creator Science. And you see it looks more like a website as they have all these different navigation bars here on top. But then also if you subscribe here, you end up with a newsletter, which is written automatically by Ghost itself as well. So they use, maybe ConvertKit, but in general, you can write newsletters with Ghost as well. And here's some other examples. So Cartoon Gravity, for example, newsletters, you see a bit how it looks like. So there are different options as well of how you structure your articles. So this is one article, for example, that they use, or one structure. Or there's another one which I like as well from the structure. So it's called Lever News. And there you also have these different ideas of how you can structure your content and basically, almost create fully fledged websites out of Ghost, but then with all these content that lies within it as well. Ghost costs you $9 per month if you start. There is an open source version as well if you want to do this via developer APIs. But as I said, we will go into detail about Ghost at a different time. So for now, what we learned, there are these 4 platforms that you can use. You can use Medium, which is mainly for simply writing. You can use Substack if you plan at some point in time to make some of your content paid. However, this is more of a long-term goal. In the first part, it's also mainly about just writing. And because if you make it paid, it costs you quite a lot of money because 9 to 10% of your whole revenue is quite a lot. But for just the writing experience, Substack also is a great choice. If you plan to monetize it quite quickly and you want to have a newsletter included and focus mainly on the newsletter, then I would choose Beehive. And if you say, maybe I want to have a fully fledged website and I want to have the option to directly write my newsletters and publish articles and do basically everything together, then maybe you could choose Ghost. So this was it for today. I hope this was helpful. And I would just encourage you just getting started. So this is the same with YouTube videos. It's the same with articles. It's the same whatever you want to create. The important thing is that you just get started. So quickly pick a platform that works for you and then start creating. Have fun with it and have a great day.